Okay.
All right.
John, your chair.
Clean up my agenda. Says welcome. So welcome everyone. Then it says announcements. Cocoa Fest is in May?
May
Yeah, I believe
14th and 50th, I think.
the website says 49 days, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I guess
That's a
the
question for Eric.
57 days.
50?
57.
57. Wow.
What
Didn't remember that correctly.
Yeah, May 14th, 15th.
Okay. Is that off of Grant's calendar or the normal calendar? Ha 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 ha.
Google's calendar or Samsung's calendar.
He sent out a meeting notice. He wants to do something on Sunday, the 28th, he said. Well, I'm sorry, but your Sunday is on the 27th. He's using last year's calendar. So it's all screwed up, and I don't know when he'll be on for sure. I'll have to be watching my messages coming in.
Is he talking March 27th?
I see a new name. Oh, I think I see him. Yeah, there he is.
No, that's Grant, not.
That's Grant, wasn't it? It's Grant who sent out the email, wasn't it? With the wrong date on it?
Oh, yeah, that was me.
And I checked it out, and you had to be looking at last year's calendar.
No, I just looked at the wrong day.
Okay.
I was trying to do it across the room.
Well, where are we doing it? What's going on now? What are you looking for?
We're going to have
to be what day?
We're probably going to wait a week until Randy gets back from his cruise. He's surfing the oceans right now.
Randy is? Lucky dog.
Yep, he got lucky, so he won't be here tonight. So,
What is on that date that there's a meeting? Is that for the bylaws?
It's just for the Cocoa Fest registration process we're working on.
Restoration?
Registration.
Oh, registration.
Is Jim here?
No,
nope,
Jim's not going to be here.
John Mark is chairing, and we have started, I believe we've started the meeting, have we not?
Yes, we've started.
There's a tape running, Grant.
All right, cool.
So we're in announcements. If you got any announcements, Grant.
Just that we are getting close to the tables being sold out. We're down to, I think, 13 tables is all we have left now. So,
but I haven't seen any. I haven't seen any tables go all week.
Bless you, Tony.
We're not getting takers, so I'm concerned that we need to do another rally there to motivate people. If I got the floor, and I guess I do, I'd like to suggest that take that up. I think we don't enough of our free entry to the fest. This is the first time in fest history that we've had a free admission. Matter of fact, we talk about selling tickets, and we don't sell tickets. Whoever wrote that is wrong. I think it was John Mark. So the wording should be different.
Yeah, we sold a table 2 days ago, so you're incorrect. We sold John Strong purchased a table on the 15th. So, and we had a table.
Oh, Grant, can you?
I didn't receive that yet.
Brian, can you send me notices when new people register so I can make sure they're on the website for vendors?
Oh, sure.
Find business on John Strong. I'll check it out after the meeting. Make sure it's in Tandy list.
Yep, that's where I have it right now. Pulled it up. It's on the and Paul Fitzarelli purchased a table on the 12th, and then Harry Rutfeld purchased one on the 10th. So we're doing fine. Like I said, we're only down to only 13 tables left, so we're doing great there.
Okay. Next, we got Secretary's report.
You're muted, Brian. Brian, you're muted. Still muted. No, we're not hearing anything, Brian.
Now, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I was saying I posted the meeting notes just before the meeting, but I have trouble reading that number code. It says Glenside meeting notes and then some numbers. I have trouble figuring those out. So I just put it on there, Cocoa February 2022 notes.
Did you put
Anyway,
it on the Google Drive?
Yes. If I did it right.
In the secretary reports?
Right.
Just for this tape recording, we ought to check in that John Mark is here, Tony Pedraza, Brian Goers. Whoops. But they couldn't finish it. Bob Swoger, Dave Davidson. Trying to do it from memory now. Hope we got
Anyway.
all.
I think that's
We're
it.
trying to get the notes.
Up here
in
is
for
the meeting
secretary.
minutes. Or sorry, the secretary notes.
You can always click on attendance for a second. Anyway, members' attendance last February, the 17th, was Bob Swoger and an Albert Amuta, Aumeta, if that's correct. David Dennison, Eric Canales, Grant Leahy, Chris Hawks, Jim Brain, John Mark Mobley, Rich Bear, Randy Weaver, Tony Pedraza, and Brian Gores were attendants. I have a fest update. We're making 75 to 100 buttons for the fest. A motion was accepted by Eric and seconded by Grant for gift cards to be raffled off to paid members. Grant reported 38 of 60% of the tables have been sold. Jim will be printing badges for people that have pre-registered, and the room will open for exhibitors by 5:30 Friday. Badges will have a bid number on the back for use in the auction. Problems with the audio feedback during the auction have been corrected. Jim would like the bylaws group to start again, perhaps post to Facebook for volunteers. A motion by Eric Canales to reimburse Jim Brain for expenses to file the club's nonprofit documents was seconded by Bob Swoger, and the motion carried. Old business, the club needs a newsletter editor. No names have been submitted yet. Bob Swoger wanted to send out the newsletter. Eric Canales wants to form an investment committee that will allow the club to function on the returns from the invested money. Excuse me. A committee will be created that create a document that explains where the money is and how it will be used. Jim corrected errors between MailChimp and the Tandy list so they can be synchronized. There was no new business. There was a motion to close the meeting by Brian, seconded by Grant, and the motion carried. Meeting ended at 8:38 p.m. Anything else?
The only thing I would say about the issue with the sound system for the auction is being investigated. I'm working with Randy and Stevie on that issue, so
Oh,
we
okay.
might have to purchase some special equipment for that.
Yeah, and I think at some point we've discussed setting up a budget for that. So
Yeah. But gotta need to know what we need to purchase before we can set a budget up for that. So I'm waiting on Stevie and them to let us know.
Oh, to buy different equipment.
yeah, our own equipment for Cocoa
Yeah.
Fest.
Or,
Hopefully it won't be that big of an issue this year because we won't be doing quite as many virtual presentations since all the presenters will be on site this year.
right.
But as far
Okay.
as the auction portion, we got to work on the feedback and delays.
Grant, I've got a favor to ask.
Yeah.
Please send me the last two guys that got the tables. I want to make sure that they get into Tandy list. You mentioned one was Strong, but the other name I didn't recognize.
It's Paul Fitzarelli. He's in there.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Win-Dick System is what he is.
Any more questions on the secretary report?
Then I move we accept minutes as read.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor of accepting the meeting minutes, say aye.
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 Those opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, next we got Treasurer's Report with Eric Alice.
Exciting. Okay. So Jim Brain wanted me to come up with a budget. So we'll talk about a budget that I've come up with. It's more of a preliminary budget. But let's look at our statements first. So our balance sheet for February, we ended the month with 5,731.16. Here, let me pull up the previous month comparison. So we ended February with 5,731.76. We started the month with 5,015.55. Our PayPal account ended with 163.33. We started with 0. Our money market savings account started with 12,291.53, and we finished the month with 12,290. Sorry, I got it backwards. We started the month with 12,290.59. So our club right now has $18,186.62 in cash. We've increased our balance by $880.48 since last month, and that's almost all from Cocoa Fest sales from Tandy List. There's our income statement. This is what we earned. So we earned 12 cents in rewards. We earned $1.15 in interest. We've earned $1.27 for the month of February. But this does not include Cocoa Fest because we last, I don't know if it was last month or previously, you guys made it clear that we want to think of Cocoa Fest as an accounts payable account. So that's going to be in a different report. So we'll look at that next. What we actually brought in, not not including Cocoa Fest, was $1.27. What we spent was $50.49 in PayPal transaction fees from that income. That's money that I don't think would be refunded even if we turned around and canceled Cocoa Fest. Maybe some of it. We spent $80.63 on miscellaneous Cocoa Fest things. I think that was stuff that Grant bought for Cocoa Fest.
Those are probably the pins and the paper, the stuff that we did.
Our website cost $12 for the month. Our cloud services $9 and 7 cents. Cloud service is Microsoft Office for the newsletter. So we spent $152.19 for a total income of negative $150.92.
Mr. Treasurer, when do we
Yes.
pay for MailChimp? How often? How much?
We don't pay for MailChimp. MailChimp is a free service. We won't pay for MailChimp until after we have 1,000 members on the list. After that, there is a fee, which we can address at that point.
I see. Thank you.
Yeah. So, okay. So for Tandy List, we brought in, and there's some names up here that I'm trying to hide. But these are all the people who paid for Tandy for Cocoa Fest. So Tandy List, we brought in $1,031.40, including PayPal fees and everything. This is gross income from PayPal. So there might be some expenses in PayPal that aren't included in this figure. But I think actually this is all accounts payable. So this is gross income from Tandy List. I don't know the breakdown because I haven't gotten any reports from Randy, but the breakdown will include meals, vendor tables, memberships, and whatever else. So all that combined is $1,031 for the month of February. Here are the gift cards and the buttons we bought for a total of $80.63. Nothing much more interesting. The fees are kind of high, but for $1,000, they're not that high. And now that we're a nonprofit, PayPal will offer us a lower discount or a lower fee on their transaction fees once they've approved our paperwork. So that will hopefully come soon, within the next week or so. That's basically it for all of our transactions. 9 for stuff, 12 for hosting our website. Pretty much it. I have reconciliations for all our accounts and verified everything balances.
Out of curiosity, who is hosting our website?
A company called DigitalOcean.
Thank you.
Oh, so that's our treasurer's report. Jim asked me to also come up with a budget. Now this budget is preliminary, more or less, and it's also pessimistic, which means this is if we have a bad year. So,
Comment?
fine. Yep, go ahead.
If I recall correctly, coming up with the budget and presentation would be considered new business. If all old business is taken care of, we should probably close out that another meeting
Sure.
before we hear from them.
Sure, we can talk about it in new business if John.
Right. That's all I'm saying. Do all things decently and in order. That's scriptural.
So were there any other questions on the report then? On the treasurer's February report?
So do we have a motion to accept the treasurer's
I move
report?
that we accept the report as is.
I second.
Brian.
Okay, all those in favor of accepting the treasurer's report, say aye.
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 Me.
All those opposed, say nay. Okay, motion carries. This says committee directors update.
Yep, but it's all. I'll give a quick update on Cocoa Fest real quick. We have 46 tables have been sold, so that leaves only 14 tables left available, so which is pretty good in my opinion. 27 dinners have been sold. We have 7 presenters that will be presenting on those 2 days. I'll be finalizing the schedule. I'll probably be confirming everybody on their presentations probably this week, if not next week, and then I will have a schedule posted. I've also reached out to the hotel, and they will be sending me the menu choices for the buffet. We'll be doing another survey again to see what people would like to have for the selections for the buffet. Hopefully they'll be picking meatloaf again because that's my favorite. We'll be having another meeting for the restoration process. Hopefully we won't be scaring Rich away. But we're waiting on Randy to finish up his end, so therefore we can just hopefully as people check in, we'll be able to check them in, and then anytime at any moment we'll be able to pull up on our phones or the computer exactly how many people are attending Cocoa Fest at that point in time. It'll be better record keeping as well too. So other than that, the only other thing is we I know Jim posted on the Facebook page the 2 badges. It looks like the rainbow badge is the one that's winning and what we will probably be going with. Thanks to Salvador for doing that. And then also Salvador is making the poster for Cocoa Fest as well. So things are getting down to the nitty gritty. I'll probably be asking for some help on Friday for the people who are local there in Chicago to help set up for the fest. So Tony, you'll be there, right?
Should be.
All right, good. Because I'll probably need as much help as we can to set it up and get things going. So other than that, that's
Friday
pretty.
as well.
Okay, great. And I plan to be there I'm planning driving up from Kansas City on Thursday, so I'll be there Friday morning as well too. So.
What time do you want to start in the morning? Because I'll be in the area.
I will probably say we'll probably like 9 or 10 o'clock because I'm hoping Jim will be there with his truck and we can load the stuff up in the warehouse at that point and then get it over to the hotel as soon as possible and get everything set up. So,
great, I'll shoot for 10 o'clock so I can help do the setup.
Yeah, I think Jim's planning to be there on Thursday night, if I'm not mistaken, so we should all be there
I'll be
ready to
around
go.
Thursday too, but I assume we won't be setting anything up.
Right, because we don't get the room until Friday morning. All right, any questions or concerns?
Thank you.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Okay, next is old business, 501c3 application status. Eric and Rich.
Rich, do you have anything to say on that? Or where are we at on this? Like, I don't remember if that happened this month or last month, but we got approved for our 501c3 nonprofit from the IRS. So we are officially a nonprofit now. We're considered a charity. We'll have yearly reports to file. They're not very complicated at all. And I'm currently working on getting that status recognized from our vendors like DigitalOcean and PayPal and others to get nonprofit discounts that we can save a little money. But other than that, everything's fine on that front.
That's it?
Is that the voice of Rich Bear?
No, this is Eric, because I think Rich must have stepped away.
Okay.
But if you have any questions about our status or the paperwork or what it means, let me know now or later, and we can do it.
Okay, so now we go on to new business. Or is there any more old business? I guess we can go on to new business. Financial budget review. Eric.
Yeah. So Jim asked me to come up with a yearly budget. Give me a second here. All right. So Jim asked me to come up with a budget for 2022 year. It's very hard because I did not have this historical data that I would need because we changed around all of the ways we do the accounting. We changed the names of all our basically quote unquote accounts, basically where we throw the money, what categories. So this is kind of a best guess, and it's pessimistic. So if it's a bad year, this might be what we expect to see. If it's a good year, we'll be way off, and we'll make a lot more money than we expect. That'll be good. Find the report. That's the preliminary. This is the budget as of today. So historically, we've gotten this money from our members. Things like travel expenses that the club would normally reimburse often gets donated back. So we expect about $300 in gifts. We expect this number is not quite accurate. Our membership dues and assessments, we're expecting $30, but that's because I rolled it into Cocoa Fest because I don't really know how it's going to be split up because I just have historical data that has it all rolled together. So we're expecting around $530 in membership dues and maybe $770 in membership dues and vendor tables. So for a total of around $1,300 in memberships and tables is kind of what we're expecting. That's about 50 to 60 memberships. We expect $15 from our PayPal rewards programs and other rewards. We expect $20 or so from our interest, our various accounts. We expect to end up paying about $100 in PayPal transaction fees. Right now we're at 50. We expect to spend about $65 on miscellaneous expenses. That was things like pens, paper, whatever. Cocoa Fest, we expect to spend $100 on gift cards and rewards. That's just a rough estimate. I never even reached out to Grant, and maybe Grant and I can work on that number. We expect supplies to cost about $125 for transportation, various fees and expenses $153, and then the meal $1,300, and our hotel rental $1,748, with a total Cocoa Fest cost of $3,426. We expect to, we have historically made donations to other people in the past, so we may do that this year. We can spend 50 or whatever, but we haven't, I don't think we've spent anything on a donation yet. 226 for office supplies. I think this number includes our accounting software. I could be wrong on that. I'll have to double check. Our website and hosting, $273. Cloud service, $132, and I think these numbers include Blue Jeans. So we'll have a total expense of $4,272 with a negative income of $137, which I'd attribute to basically making our attendance free. This is kind of what I'm thinking we're going to lose for making attendance free, which is what we kind of expected. That's where I'm at with the budget currently.
Okay.
Does anyone have any questions?
Looks good to me.
That's fantastic, Eric.
Yeah, I think we're doing really good. I think we're going to have a good year. And this is a pessimistic estimate. I think if we sell 500 more at auction, maybe we get 70, 80 memberships. We're looking at making 5, 6, 700 this.
Yeah, because the auctions, you never know what they're going to be.
Yep.
Until the day of.
Yep. And every year, everything gets more expensive. It seems like when it comes to technology, retro technology. So it could be a very good year. Could be a very good year.
And I think we should all remember that a budget is a target. It's not anything. It can always be modified and updated.
Yep.
Okay, is there any more on the budget? I know that Jim left me some notes. On the budget. Something about Discord donations.
Oh, that's new business, and we can talk about that next if you want.
Oh, okay. That's not part of the budget discussion. Okay.
Nope.
All right. Well, then should we move on to
Should we maybe make a motion to accept the budget? Like, is that something we want to do, or do we need to do that?
I don't know.
I don't think we would need to make a motion on the budget. Do we, Tony?
I mean, it's flexible.
Since this is a target, we could certainly start off this target with a move to accept what we heard.
Yeah, I think I agree with Bob. Like I said, it's a target and it can always be updated and new line items put in as we become more knowledgeable of what they are.
Yeah, and after Cocoa Fest, I would expect this budget to be very accurate throughout the rest of the year. So whatever we end up with after May, we'll know how the rest of the year plays out.
Okay, so do we have a motion to accept the budget?
A motion to accept the target, call it what you will, target budget.
The budget target.
Okay.
It's a review.
Maybe to accept the budget, but not necessarily follow the budget. Just
right. Except we're making a motion to accept target budget.
Right. And I think Tony seconded it.
Okay.
All right.
So
I did.
Aye.
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Okay, motion carries.
I'd like for the minutes on tape here to express that two new guys that showed up this evening is Rich Bear and Chris Hawks.
I'm showing there's 9 people in the meeting.
Including those last names?
Yep, I have them recorded.
Thank you.
So next is official email distribution methods. Eric.
Yeah, so, well, Bob and I talked about this before the meeting, and I just want to make it clear that if anybody wants to send out information to our members, I'm available for sending that out via MailChimp if you like. We can, I can do it as long as the information's written up. You have a good title, and you know like which members you're going to send it to. Is it everybody? Is it our vendors? Who is it going to be? And then I can send that out for you. We also were concerned about the Can Spam Act, but it looks like that doesn't apply to our club because we're not a commercial club, we're a nonprofit. So could be no issue with requiring MailChimp, but it is available if you wish to use it.
Just to throw this in there, that Act 2003 is for pornography and merchandising.
Right.
The email that I had sent out had nothing to do with either.
I'd hope so.
No, and I guess, well, I was just concerned that we needed an unsubscribe link in that email, but it turns out we don't because, like Bob said, the Can Spam Act doesn't require that from us. But we have the list. It's available. I'm happy to use it, and I'm happy to make myself available for anybody who wants to use it.
Okay.
Okay.
So now we go on with further new business.
So I did have some new business, and that you alluded to with the Discord. This is kind of, if you can see my screen now, this is kind of what we're expecting maybe the second part of the year and 2023 to look like for our tech budget. And that's because now that we're a nonprofit, we get the special nonprofit discounts. I wasn't able to find any discount for our DigitalOcean hosting, but for conferencing through Zoom, we can save a few bucks and get it for 131. For Microsoft Office, we're looking at $36 a year, whereas currently it's $109 a year. Google Workspace will get for up to 100 users for, I believe it was for free. After 100 users, it's something like $3 a user. We may want to, well, I mean, that's getting ahead of ourselves. So that the Google Workspace, we already use Google for Google Drive. It would basically just increase our drive space, and that's free. So, and then what I would like to propose is that we foster some community socializing, gathering, and we also use Discord, at least like me, Grant, Jim Brain, we talk together on Discord. So I would like to propose that we donate $120 a year, half of which goes to the Coco Talk Discord group for their what's called a server boost. It gives us better quality video features like emoticons and whatever. But it also sends a message that, hey, we want the Coco people to get together and be a community. And then that would leave the other half, $60, which is one server boost, available for whatever else we'd want. Maybe it could go to a different podcaster who has Discord, or maybe, whatever. We could give it to the Coco Talk people as well. So the minimum price for this is $120. You get 2 of these server boosts. So I guess I'm proposing that either right away or maybe after we accept this new budget, we include a Discord, kind of a donation to the Discord community for the Coco Club.
I like the idea of showing the support for them.
Yeah, I agree. And plus, there's a lot of people in the community that uses the Discord server for talking about hardware projects and software and just general things in general. So I think it's a good idea.
Is this something
Well,
we need to vote on, or?
yeah, since it costs money, I guess if we wanted to do it, we'll have to vote on it. So I guess I'll move to spend $120 a year on Discord, and maybe start off the month with giving both of our server boosts to the Cocoa Talk people, and then just leaving an invitation open for anybody who requests the club maybe support them. We can throw some server boosts another way as well in the future. So that's my motion.
Okay.
I second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Well, John Mark, I think Jim Brain had a couple comments on that. I don't know if there's anything you want to pull up he said about that.
Well, see here. Um, he talks about Discord on behalf of Cocoa Talk, Cocoa Crew. He said if we donate to Steve in Leadville, be aware that all the other YouTube broadcasters
Yeah, that they might come asking for donations or something.
yeah. Might be able to focus on 2 donations per year. Set aside a certain amount of money per year to donate to worthwhile projects. Calling out to media broadcasters could create unrest, unnecessarily pigeonhole us. So he's got some concerns about Discord thing.
Yeah, maybe since he's not here, it's hard to talk for him. But I guess what I gathered from what he was saying is that he might think we're too much associated with, say, Cocoa Talk or something. So I would like to leave that second server boost for another community that might ask for it, just to alleviate those concerns.
Okay. He said he wants to switch to Zoom for the April meeting. Said our Blue Jeans contract is up in April. Guess Zoom is cheaper than Blue Jeans now with the 501c3 discount. And it offers more video features. I prefer for the streaming.
Okay. Well, John Mark, I guess a point of order. Can we put that on new business after this?
Put that what? Oh, on new business?
Let's talk about that next, yeah.
Oh, okay. And then he talks about the overall budget.
Oh, well, Jim and I went back and forth on the budget for quite a while. So I think I expressed his concerns pretty accurately in my presentation and adjusted some of my information to give you guys a more accurate picture. So I think we took care of all that.
Oh, okay, good.
Comment?
All right.
Comment?
Sure.
I'm thinking that there could be, pardon the expression, a bit bucket in the budget for, I'm not going to specify a figure, but, again, what you have in the budget doesn't necessarily have to be used, but a line item in there regarding either support of, jeepers, what would you classify them as? Support of electronic media, if we want to support Discord, that would fall through into that. If we want to support any of the Coco Talk or the podcast,
Crew.
yes, they don't have to be specified in the budget, but you could have a line item from which those can be designated in the future at a value to be voted on in the future. We don't have to do this today as far as an organization, but we could include, say, make it realistic. Put a line item in the budget as a proposal for, let's just say, that's thinking what we might want to support, $500. And then if, depending on, we have that to work with and we know that it's in there. We don't have to use it all, but it would be something that would be in the budget that could be used if there is a motion to do such for any one particular venue, media, if you will. So it would be handled as being put in the budget and an official fund from which that money can be drawn, but we don't necessarily have to make those withdrawals at this meeting because I think we should really have more input as to what media program to support, have a consensus of more people so nobody really feels left out, because nobody from any of those podcasts, I don't think, are at this meeting right now. They don't have to be, but 7 guys, if we want to do that, that's fine. But I think we should at least have that as a budgetable line. And I really think Jim should be on the meeting for, you have some of his input, $10 a month for Discord. What about the other gents? So that would be like, here's a budget from which we can pay somebody, and then you have a separate line item for who we've paid. And I'm thinking, like double entry ledger. Here's the budgetable item. This is what goes into that budgetable item because it would be a sub payment.
Yeah, and accounting-wise, we're totally ready to handle budgets like that. We already do that for the Coco Fest Fund. We could have a media or Coco Fest Community Fund.
There
or
you
Coco
go.
Community Fund, I should say.
So you do have the community support. I think that sounds pretty good for the fund.
Yeah.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong, Tony. Don't we also make donations to like VCF Midwest and Tandy Assembly in the past? So that could probably go
I
into
think
that
so.
fund too.
Yeah. Yeah, they
And we
would
gave
be rolled into that area as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think that would work well. So I guess I know you're saying maybe we don't have to rush it, but I would say I would amend my motion to do 120 a year and maybe increase our Cocoa Fest Community Fund at the next meeting or any future meeting to after we've discussed it more and thought about it some more.
I think you have a good line item there in the budget. I would just like to see.
Yeah, I agree with Tony.
I
I would
relinquish
like
the
that
floor.
community support fund. I think we should rename this to like community support. I'll put that in our accounting software and maybe start it right now with this $120 a year. Just because we have a figure, we kind of know. Well, I know what I'm proposing. But if there's more ideas, more donations, we can increase that budget to include everything else.
Well, I would think we would want to increase that because I think we definitely would want to support VCF Midwest and also Tandy Assembly as well.
Do you have a number?
I would say $300 would be a good sufficient. Would you? What have we done in the past, Tony, for VCF Midwest and Tandy Assembly? Was it $50 or $100 a piece? Is what we've done in the past? Do you remember?
Well, our current budget, which we went over a little while ago, put it at $50, and that's consistent with what we've done in the past.
Okay, so let's just do $250, and then that'd be sufficient. If we want to increase it later, we can do so, and that should give us enough
All right.
enough to play with.
I'd amend my motion then to raise our Cocoa Community Fund to $250 a year. Is there someone who can be in charge of this fund, or should we just vote on who's going to make these decisions? Because right now, the Cocoa Fest Fund, for example, that's basically run by Grant. If Grant wants it and it's Cocoa Fest related, it happens. So we probably need somebody in charge of the Cocoa Community Fund. And I'd volunteer, but I think as treasurer, there'd be a conflict of interest.
Well, the treasurer would be directed to whom to make those
Yes. Yes,
monies
the issue
payable.
is I couldn't
So,
be in charge of the decision and the spending. So I would have to remove myself from being in charge of the community fund. So whoever decides, yes, that person gets some money, that can't be me.
Well, I would think that as a club, we would probably want to be able to vote as a club on who we give the money to and who we don't want to give the money to. We shouldn't
Okay.
leave that
I
up to
agree.
one person.
Okay.
I agree.
Not saying that somebody would give it to a bad charity, but just want to be safe.
Yeah.
And overall, it's a decision that the president himself should be involved in. Not necessarily make the decision himself, but be aware of the suggestions and to be involved in the discussions for an amount and for whom as they come up. It would be an item for voting on at the club business meetings. But it would show that it came out of the budget fund for community support
Yeah, I think
when it
I think
happens.
yeah, I think that would be good.
I
You
think
should
that's all
make
reasonable.
a director appointment to champion that cause.
Well, I guess. Well, we were talking about like who would be in charge of the fund, but you're talking about like who would be championing the community kind of support role. Community. I think we do a pretty good job of kind of getting together and doing that because I know every year it seems to
Yeah,
be
we
somebody
do.
else says, oh, we should give some money to BCF, we should give some money to Candy Assembly. So I think making it a group thing, like Grant said, where we all get together, we all vote on it. I think that's a really good way of doing that fund.
All right. The
Well, that's what
important thing
Tony
tonight, I think, is
suggested
Alan.
that we allocate some money in the budget, and then when we want to give something to somebody, we can all vote on that.
Exactly.
That all sounds reasonable to me.
Yep, I agree.
So what's next?
Are we ready to vote for it now?
Yeah.
To help John, I'll restate my motion. I move that we create a Cocoa Community Fund, starting with a balance of $250 a year, and we'll start off the fund by spending $120 a year, but in monthly payments, and giving those server boosts to the Cocoa Talk people, and of course making things open to any other community that wants to maybe want some support or whatever.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Do we have a second?
Oh, we already had a first and a second.
Yeah, I
earlier.
think Grant seconded it.
We were in discussion, and now.
Oh, okay.
But he
Now we're
reworded the motion.
Yeah, so we probably need to second it again. So I will
Alright.
second the motion.
All right.
Okay. All,
Okay.
All in favor,
All in favor?
say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. Motion carries.
Bob Spoger says present.
All right. The gentleman from Motorola says present.
So
Right. Anything else?
yeah, John, I think we moved Zoom conferencing to new business.
All right.
Did you want to talk more about that or?
Well, my major concern with video conferencing is that it worked from Linux, and I looked up Zoom, and Zoom will work from Linux, so I'm okay with moving to Zoom. I guess, what do we need a motion that we move from Blue Jeans to Zoom?
Yeah, so Jim says where a contract will be. I didn't check this, but he says our contract runs up in April, so we'll need to do a motion now in order to have conferencing for next month.
I do have one question for you, Eric. Why? What is the difference between the free one and the $131 one?
So for free, we can do meetings up to 40 minutes, and it looks like no recording.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
So for 150, we can do up to 30 hours with recording. So I think we definitely want this, which we can also take advantage of at CocoFest, a lot easier than Blue Jeans. So we'll be able to use this Zoom account at CocoFest.
And that actually might make things easier for the auction too.
Yeah.
Okay, make a motion there, Eric. And
I second we move to Zoom. Quickly.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
I'll just point out that for nonprofit, Zoom costs $131.95 a year. We don't have that status yet with the company that would give us that discount. So we're looking at $149.90 a year, which is $20, less than $20.
But I'm sure they'll get that fixed pretty quickly.
Well, if it's not in time, we'll have to do the first year for $150. But we're only talking $18.
We'll take that out of your paycheck.
Hey, I submitted the request right on time. So.
All right, let's go ahead and vote on that.
Right. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay.
One suggestion I would make, Eric, is that we definitely send out probably 2 or 3 notices for the next meeting, so therefore people will know that we have switched over.
Okay. We'll work on that.
Motion carries.
Eric, can you explain again? I might have missed it. What has to be done to get the nonprofit discount?
So for the nonprofit discount, we get it through a company called TechSoup. TechSoup takes our IRS documents and EIN number and stuff. They do some kind of a background check, and then they approve you or disapprove you. And from there, you can choose from various discounts and services they offer. So we submitted everything we need to. We're just waiting to hear back on if we're approved. Once we're approved, then we can get this discount and various other discounts that you see.
So this is not direct, and it's not an interaction of us with Zoom. It's with this third
with
person.
a third-party company, yeah. So we go through the third-party company. They more or less give us what amounts to a coupon, and then we take that coupon over to Zoom.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking in Jim's notes, and he says, I like the rainbow background Salvador proposed for the Cocoa Fest badges.
Oh, let me see if I can pull that up.
Where are these badges displayed?
They're on Facebook.
I'll see if
rarely
I
get
can
on
pull
there.
it up for you.
I think you put that underneath the Glenside Facebook page.
Yeah, you can see it on my screen now.
Oh, okay.
There's 2 designs. You see that? This one here and this one here.
I think the rainbow one looks a lot better.
I agree. I like the rainbow one.
A or B? A or B?
Definitely A. Salvador did a good job. In fact, again, he's also making our poster as well too for us. So hopefully we'll have that here in a couple weeks.
So do we need to vote on this badge thing?
No, it's just for information only. It was done on Facebook.
What was done on Facebook?
The badge, there's a badge.
The badges,
post.
the pictures of the
There's
badges.
also a post on the website about it, if you'd rather. So Facebook and the website.
Okay.
All right. So,
but overwhelmingly, everybody's been going for the rainbow one, so I think that's the sure winner.
Yeah.
We could say that this is our consensus tonight.
There was a vote somewhere?
No, but
on the
it's not a
webpage.
vote. It's a consensus. It seems that the consensus thing is that everybody prefers the top one there in the picture.
Oh, I'll say agreement. I can't spell consensus.
Use the word consensus. That's the legal word.
Oh,
Brian, we do have spell checkers nowadays.
oh yeah. Okay.
And if you don't know, then just say, "Hey
Oh,
Google, how you
yeah.
spell consensus?"
I asked Alexis to spell it.
Yeah, that'll work too.
IT. All right. If there's nothing else,
Is
I move we close the meeting.
there any other new business?
I second the motion.
Okay, we've got a first and a second to close the meeting. Is there any discussion?
Nope.
Okay. Those in favor say aye.
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 Meeting
Those
closed
opposed say nay.
at 8:38.
Okay, motion carries. Meeting is closed.
Awesome. Hey, Richard,
Yes.
question for you. April 3rd at 3 o'clock, does that work for you?
What day is that?
That's a Sunday.
um, I can make it work. Yes.
Okay. About you, Eric, does that work for you?
Yeah, it sounds like it would work. Yep.
Tony, does that work for you, sir?
Yes. You didn't see
Okay.
your email.
Oh, I guess you must have sent something else.
You say it's
And Bob?
March 27, 3 p.m. Correct?
No.
Right. Well,
Monday.
we changed it. We're changing it to April 3rd at 3 p.m. now. So I will resend that out.
April 3rd, 3
Yep,
p.m.
That's what.
I've got it.
Yep. All right. Cool. I will send an email out with the due date. And Eric, a question.
Yeah.
When are we switching over to Zoom?
Basically, whenever we want. I would prefer that we wait until we try and get our nonprofit status, but
Okay.
for $18, I wouldn't lose sleep over it if you need it done now.
No. I just want to make sure because I'm just going to keep the blue jeans in this email for the registration process for the Cocoa Fest. So in the email.
Okay.
If that changes before April 3rd, would you please let me know?
Yeah, and we'll resend out a link. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. That's all I had, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
All right.
Okay.
Good night, everyone.
Adios.
And don't
Good
worry,
night,
Richard.
all.
We won't scare you this time. Thanks, Eric. Good job.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to stop recording, then go. See you guys.
All right. Take care.